Where do I begin on Battlefront? EA's, not Battlefront. EA's Battlefront. I think I have to start with the first Battlefront that I played. It was on the PS2. Unfortunately, it was not Battlefront 2. It was the first Battlefront. I fell in love with the game. I loved it. It was really one of the first games that I recognized that online multiplayer was exceptional. Even though this was LAN and this was local, I was like, okay, this could work. This was fantastic. The settings, the battlefields were fantastic. Then I played Battlefront 2, and I was even more blown away. 64 player games. It was fantastic to see so many people just, in clones, or playing as clones, playing as Jedi, playing as the Empire, and I'm not even gonna. I hate droids; they're dumb. But just playing as all of these unique factions, and the space battles were even more unique. They were fantastic, and to see it go from Battlefront 2, even though that was probably the height of the series, to handhelds, to see it transfer to Battlefront 2, Battlefront Renegade Squadron, Battlefront Rogue Squadron, etc., etc. It was unique for me, especially because I love the handheld versions, because to an extent, on the PSP, it captured some of the magic that was in Battlefront 2, even though it wasn't on its level, not even close. I'm I'm flabbergasted at the audacity that EA had when they released Battlefront, the first game. I was flabbergasted. I cannot believe my eyes. I cannot believe what I was seeing. I could believe what I was hearing because it sounded like Star Wars, but I could not believe what I was hearing and seeing. Not hearing, excuse me, but seeing. I cannot believe that these maps were exactly like Call of Duty's maps. Like, the first thing that you recognize is that the actual map size is very small and condensed. So you have these constant, constant skirmishes with the enemy team. And on top of that, the spawn locations are ludicrous. There's no points. There's no real relevance to the spawn locations. You can spawn on the other. You can spawn behind the enemy and get killed. You can spawn in your own base. It doesn't matter where you spawn, because in the first couple of seconds after you spawn, you will either get killed or you meet allies. It's just that simple. And unfortunately, EA has not had the courtesy to patch this over. They don't care. They don't care if you spawn in the middle of the enemy base. Even if they have patched it over, the maps are too damn small. The maps in Battlefront, comparatively, in Battlefront 2, comparatively to Battlefront, EA's Battlefront, I should constantly reference it as EA's Battlefront, are significantly larger on the PS2 and on the PC than on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC of today. That's pathetic. It's pathetic to see that a developer hasn't had the common courtesy to say to themselves and to check themselves, to make sure that they have a checklist to say big ass maps, check, space battles, check, spawn points on point, check. They haven't even had the common courtesy to do that. Instead, they've said, you know what? What's the fastest way we can produce our game with it looking fantastic and sounding fantastic without us really adding in anything, so that way we can lower the development time and increase our profits? And we get EA's Battlefront. When I first heard that EA's Battlefront was going to be released without space battles, I just didn't buy it. I didn't. How did I play the game? My cousin always gets the games that have been released in the past couple of months and in the year and in the previous year, because she's spoiled. I go over to her house. I get on her Xbox One. I play on her Xbox One. I play on her PS4. That's how I play these games without actually supporting the developer. Because to me, it is so important that that they don't take my $50, that they don't take my $60, that they don't take my money because I don't want to support their goddamn game because it is so bad. It has come to this point where we find that EA just doesn't care. We've let them constantly cross the line of acceptance of quality products too far and too long. They don't care. They don't care what they do. All they care about is how much money they can get. And it feels like I've been saying this a lot today because I've been talking about Ubisoft. I've been talking about Activision. I've been talking about franchise reboots all today. Not even all today, but for most of today, for most of the afternoon. And it seems like I won't stop because developers won't stop, because publishers won't stop their crusade of terrible games for the most amount of money. EA's Battlefront, the championship, the champion system, the hero system, the Sith and the Jedi, Han Solo, etc., whatever you want to say, it was terrible. It was terrible because of the simple fact that instead of you being on a kill streak, instead of you having instead of it going to the best player on the team, it goes to one of the worst. It goes to the guy that is just staying in spawn or in your spawn, waiting for the hero coin to spawn, and then them just walking over it and getting it. Then you have the worst guy on your team getting the hero coin, and then dying 5 minutes later. Not even 5 minutes later. Maybe half a minute later. I don't understand that system. It discourages gameplay and encourages waiting around. There's no galactic conquest. Like, anyone who's played Battlefront 2 knows exactly what I'm talking. There's no galactic conquest. We've just let them get away with it. I'm angry that there's no space battles in a franchise that is known for having space battles, in a movie series where the space battles were as important as the soldiers on the ground. I'm livid over galactic conquest. It gave you an innumerable amount of replayability, and they just took it away from you. Why? Why? Because they don't care. They don't care. I was shocked that after playing EA's Battlefront, that they said that they were that the next Battlefront was in the works. When they hadn't even gotten the first one right. Who gave them the license who gave them the audacity to do this? To just publish a game that's terrible. That doesn't have any fan service in it. The vehicles are terrible. The vehicles are the most one-sided thing in the game. And keep in mind, I haven't played the game over a year. But this is on initial release. The vehicles were the most one-sided thing I've ever seen in my entire... You could get so many kills off of vehicles, and there isn't any way to counteract that. There isn't any way. There's no cover. There's nothing you can do. In Titanfall, for example, you can kill Titans as a pilot in certain areas of the map. You can kill Titans with just jumping on top of them. It would have been awesome if you could do something. If you could do exactly what Chewbacca did in Return of the Jedi, when he was on Endor, and the Ewoks had actually commandeered an AT-AT. I think that's what, not an AT-AT. I forgot what it's called, but he commandeered it when he was in the forest of Endor, and he opened up the hatch kind of like in a tank, and he killed all of the stormtroopers in it, and he actually used it to open the doors to the shield generators that were shielding the Death Star. Why wasn't that in the game? If you're going to do something, do it right. They haven't done anything right. The the next, and you want to know the most disgusting thing, is that the Death Star Trench Run is active. The DLC it just got released, and it looks interesting. It doesn't look bad. It looks interesting. The Trench Run is one of the most iconic parts of the Star Wars franchise. Just going in the trenches, and especially in A Force Awakens, the actual they did this trench run in that movie spectacularly. Not saying that they didn't do it well in the other series or in A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. I'm just saying that this is like one of the best scenes in the Star Wars franchise. Just them, the X-Wings just closing the X's and them just diving into the trenches. And it just looks so cool to see that happen. For me personally, in the movie theater, it was so iconic. And they try and recreate that magic, and it's terrible. It falls flat on its face. There are these checkpoints now with the trench run, instead of you having a whole squadron of fighters just diving into the trenches, just closing their X parts of the X-Wing, and just for that speed instead of that maneuverability, and just going in and diving in. They don't care. It was dumb. And on top of that, you have to pay for the season pass. You have to pay to get these maps. You have to pay to get these maps. They don't come free. It's not a fan service. It's not part of the fan service. The trench run. You have to pay money. The audacity. So there are some editions of the game where you have to pay $150. $150 to play the complete game. You have to pay an additional $100. That's 2 games. 2 games you could be buying for. You could be supporting any other game, but you paid $150 to get the full game of one game. The audacity of EA. The reason why I'm so angry right now, and I'm so energized and ignited and just angry and motivated today, is because I cannot believe the practices that some of these companies are doing. It's ludicrous. And we're writing this off as if it's normal, as if people don't care, as if it's EA and Activision and Ubisoft are known to do this. They were not originally known for doing this. Once the standards are lowered, everything is lowered. Every single aspect of the gameplay is gone. And nobody seems to care. This is Battlefront. This is Star Wars. And it's gone. I can't believe that. I can't believe it. I truly cannot believe it. If EA, I've talked for 13 minutes about the original Battlefront, EA Battlefront, not the original, but the EA Battlefront. I will now talk about the second EA Battlefront right now that they're planning on making, that they're planning on publishing. I don't even know when it's gonna be released. We may see it next year at E3. We may see it at Gamescom next year. We may see it. Who knows? But I'm going to talk about it right now. The next Battlefront is going to be terrible. I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to encourage you to proclaim or to share your grievances with EA on their message boards, on their website, if Battlefront 2 is not good. No. That's lowering my expectations. See, I almost did it. If it's not great. Because Battlefront, they've already had enough time with Battlefront. EA's Battlefront is terrible. I want their second Battlefront to be great. If it's not great, don't buy the game. Don't even think about buying it. If it doesn't look great on at E3 next year or the year after or Gamescom next year or whatever they're planning on showing gameplay for, don't buy the game. Don't do that to yourself. Don't disappoint yourself. If it doesn't have space battles in it, part of the main game. If it's not part of the main game, don't buy it. Don't even question yourself. Don't even, if your friends buy the game, if they pre-order it and they're like, I'm gonna pre-order the game, and they come home one day and it looks cool, don't buy it. Don't be baited into it. Because it will suck. It will disappoint you. It will make you feel disgusting. It will make you feel like you have done something wrong. Like you have just gotten robbed, because you have. If I didn't even mention in EA's Battlefront that they didn't even include the Clone Wars, which probably was one of the most, the actual individual clones, and the Clone Wars TV series was probably the most redeemable part of the prequels. There wasn't really a lot in the prequels, but those two aspects, pretty good. Now, if there's no Clone Wars, don't buy the game. If there's not Clone Wars, clones, don't buy the game. Because all of these really cool characters that were in the Clone Wars, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, Anakin Skywalker, even though he was a little bit whiny in the movies and nobody really liked him, Anakin Skywalker was a pretty interesting person, right? Asajj Ventress, General Grievous, Count Dooku, Darth Maul, all of these characters they could have used in EA's Battlefront if they aren't even mentioned in the game. Holy shit! Don't buy it. You don't need to buy it. I'm telling you right now, you don't need to be loyal to EA. If it's all about just being loyal to the company and them and you being a super fanboy, there's a difference in having naivety and having just this hopeful optimisticism or whatever it's called, and having just intelligence enough to say to yourself, I'm getting screwed over by a company that does not have my best interests at heart, that could really give a damn whether this game is bad or not, whether it meets the fan expectations. If EA Battlefront 2, which we all know it's going to come out, if it doesn't have space battles, if it doesn't have the Clone Wars, if it doesn't have the hero system, if it doesn't have heroes from the Clone Wars, and if the hero system isn't revamped, we shall riot in the comment section, because we don't riot. We're gamers. We don't riot. But if the hero system isn't improved upon, if the heroes, hang on, if there's 32 people in the game, right? This is 2016. 32 people in the game. Why isn't there 2 heroes per team? Maybe you could have Admiral Akbar in the game with like a Han Solo pistol. Why isn't Han Solo in the? Why isn't Chewbacca? Not even gonna get on Chewbacca. Boba Fett was in the game. I like Boba Fett. Why isn't there more bounty hunters in the game? They don't have to have all of these iconic characters in the series, because really and truly they could take some of the characters from some of the lore that was in the books, even though Disney has not made that canon. I understand that. Doesn't mean that they can take some very interesting characters from the canon. Hell, they could even put in Starkiller in the game. I'm not exhausted, but I'm pissed off about the hero system. They need to improve that. And if any of you have seen the Rogue One trailers, there was this scene, maybe not probably, but maybe on Kashyyyk, where homeworld of the Wookiees, where it looks like the AT-ATs are attacking these tribal huts in these trees, and you have people that, and it kind of reminds me of scenes of D-Day on maybe D-Day on Private Ryan, the scene on D-Day on Private Ryan, where you have just people just dying over on both sides, but finally the Americans, they rush the hill and they conquer the hill on D-Day. And it kind of reminded me on that, where you have people just desperately running, trying to find cover, trying to make sure that they're alive, and trying to once they figure out, all right, we're in this position, all right, now we got to charge the AT-ATs, now we got to go get them, now we got to go fight, because this is a rebellion. We cannot let the Sith win and the Empire win. And if they take that scene and if they put that in video game form, from a trailer, not even from the movie, because the movie has not been released yet. Should be very clear on that. It has not been released yet. But if they take that scene and if they actually try and mimic parts of it, that D-Day aspect of them trying to charge the mountain, charge the hill, charge a hill that is heavily defended with machine guns, then I think they will be very successful. Because that shows that they care. That shows that they want the fans to like their game. But if they don't do that, if they don't care, if they don't try, then you write in the comments. You have my permission to write in the comments. What else do they need to improve on? The spawn and the map. The maps are ridiculously small. There's no room for AT-ATs. Am I the only one that thought the maps were just incredibly small? I don't care if EA wanted a new direction with their game. Battlefront, not even Battlefront, Battlefield. EA should be ashamed of themselves, because their own game, Battlefield, has significantly larger maps. This is why everyone was so excited for DICE to make EA or to make Battlefront, or EA's version of Battlefront, because that game, that developer had been known to create these very open maps with vehicles that you could use to traverse these maps and to use these vehicles to engage the enemy troops. You did not do that in Battlefront. The vehicles were used more along the lines as just these ways of racking up tons of kills. That was it. Really, that was pretty much it. They weren't used in vehicular combat. Like if you had an ace pilot in Battlefield, that ace pilot would kill the other team's pilot, and because they would kill the other team's pilot, you could now, if they were in an A-10 Thunderbolt, they could go on the ground and they could kill the other team's tanks. That was not there. The vehicles were non-existent. They weren't non-existent. They were insignificant. They didn't matter. So now you're left with vehicles from iconic vehicles from the Star Wars universe that don't matter. The AT-ATs, they don't matter. The X-Wings, the A-Wings, the X-Wings, they don't matter. The Millennium Falcon doesn't matter. They've ruined Star Wars. They've ruined it. They've ruined Battlefront. They are about to ruin Battlefront 2. And nobody cares. And nobody cares. I'm looking around my room expecting someone to pop out and say, hey, we gotcha. People care about this game. People care about this series. Nobody cares. I'm all alone here. This has been, unfortunately, 21. I got my goddamn game wrong. My name wrong. This has been 20 4. Exuberantly tired, but passionately reporting on EA's Battlefront. I don't know what tomorrow's video will be about, but I owed you this one. Please don't buy their next game. Don't support EA. They don't deserve your support. I'm tired of seeing them make terrible games. I know you are too. Deep down, you want change. You gotta be patient for change, and you gotta be proactive in change. Do not let them get away with this. I won't. This has been 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. Have a fantastic day. Until tomorrow, until the next day, until whenever I make another video, I will see you next time. Do not buy that goddamn game. Don't even buy their season pass. If they promise you a season pass, don't even buy their season pass. Don't even